Are we ready to begin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. So I think it was August our last time we played.
August.
I think so. It's been a very long time. But it is session 11 of Wildemount, somehow. And in the last session, you began as Blossom went on her date with Ponkus Cogchart at his house, if you remember that. And you ate some of his potato dumplings. That's not a euphemism. You looked at his spanner collection, also not a euphemism. And you met his fat basset hound, Lucy, who...
yeah.
But you ultimately figured out he wasn't very nice.
I remember we broke into his house after.
Sort of. Yeah.
We did.
God damn it.
Yeah. And you spent some time getting your affairs in order before eventually you departed Sparkiller Base and you left the city of Huppadook where you first met all of each other. And yeah, you with Huppadook behind you, you spent about 2 days on the road travelling before eventually arriving at the large forest known as the Crispvale Thicket. Firion felt much more at home within these woods, and you soon came across 2 familiar crows, and then met a strange firbolg named Silas Fulldreamer. After some amusing introductions, he told Firion that he had experienced a dream from the Wild Mother that had told him that Firion may be able to help him and his clan. He explained that a number of bandits had taken over the nearby temple to the Wild Mother and a burial site of his people. So, you agreed to help Silas and headed off towards this temple where you encountered a number of bandits outside and quickly dispatched them before making your way down into the cave where the temple lies. And that is where we will begin our session.
Jeez.
Let me drag you over. I think your tokens are already on here. Right, let me quickly read. God, I'm gonna be a little bit rusty because it's been a fucking age since I DM'd.
I love my 0 coin inventory.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right, let's get this open. So, your descent into the mouth of the cave begins, and you find yourselves on stairs made of old flagstones, weathered by time and overgrown by plant life. After almost half a minute of clambering down into this chamber, the light becoming dimmer and dimmer as you do, you eventually find yourself standing at an opening of a large room. On either side there is an almost 10-foot wide alcove with a statue depicting the Wild Mother within. Each of the statues look and gesture towards a door that would have stood at the end, but you can see now that it was torn from its hinges, and it looks as if it was quite recently from what you can tell. So, you are gathered with Firion at the head, Gertrude, Blossom.
Can we have a reminder of why we're going in this temple? Because I cannot remember.
Yes, so Silas Fulldreamer contacted you as you entered the forest, the Crispvale Thicket. He's the firbolg guy here. I'll just move him up slightly. And if you remember correctly, he'd sent his crows that Firion was sort of keeping in the cave, and he'd had those crows spying on Firion as a potential sort of candidate after having a vision or a dream from the Wild Mother. And so once you passed through the Crispvale Thicket, he approached you and you agreed to help.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Luke.
yeah.
Can't forget Luke.
No one can ever forget Lugu.
Is Snooper with us? I can't
Yes,
see
he
much.
is, yeah.
Okay.
If you want to light if you got any light sources, then I can put them on you if you want.
Oh yeah, I think Gertrude would cast light on her.
Ooh,
Oh god, she's got that thing, doesn't she?
The claw.
Yeah, the claw.
Yeah. How much light does light give? Is it 20/20?
Yep, that's it.
Cool. So Gertrude, you got 20/20 on you?
Hmm.
I don't have any light stuff.
I think I've got a drift globe or something like that.
I think you can cast Dawn that like once per day though, so...
No, it gives you the light cantrip as well.
Oh, it does?
But no, she's not going to do it.
He's not going to do it? Okay.
Nope.
Okay. And Gertrude being the only light source in here, how...
Well, it's a little bit dark in here, isn't it, guys? You know, maybe we should go forward.
I would... God, Firian voice. I would normally feel safe in the Wild Mother's presence, and Firian would like sweep an arm around to the statues. But there's a broken door ahead. I fear the invaders. An invader waits within.
Oh,
We should
well,
be
then,
careful.
What are we waiting for? Let's go get him. You know, it's just one guy, right?
Well,
Well, we
Silas
hope
looks
that
like Silas kind of looks at Blossom, like tilting his head slightly, and he kind of like kneels down and kind of pets Blossom on the head and just says, "There, there, little one. There are many intruders in the Wild Mother's."
well, there's no
temple.
need to be polite to them. You know, you call them bad guys instead.
Yes.
What do these statues look like?
They look like, let me just get a good description up for you.
Do they look like Glondale? No.
They do not, no. As much.
That thing you made, Natalie, of Glondale.
Oh, yeah.
I use that for the token for the
Great.
statue.
Yes.
I woke up.
So you see, like, the shrine itself is like overgrown with vines and like building up to like wrapping around the legs of like a beautiful woman with sort of very sort of like greenish skin, and swallowed by like a wild tangled wreath of hair, leaves and vines.
Does she? I assume she would assume it's the Wild Mother.
Oh, you would 100% know. You'd recognise it almost instantly.
Are they similar in visage, like all four of them?
Yes.
Are they in different poses, or are they in the same
They
pose?
would all be gesturing like in this direction.
Okay.
But yeah, mostly in similar poses.
Gertrude would be like, "Are you okay down here, Lugo? I guess you're used to the dark."
It's been a while. Very damp, very wet, not wet enough. Dark though. Like home. Yes.
Just kind of nods.
I love him.
can Firian inspect the door? Broken
Wait.
door?
They're all pointing this way, Theo. Maybe we should just go in.
Yeah,
No.
do an investigation check for me, Firian. 20.
Yeah.
Very nice. You can see that the door itself actually looks pretty damn sturdy. Like it's probably stands about total of like maybe 10 feet tall. It's got like very strong kind of wooden like hard oak doors, and they're like reinforced by like stone and more natural materials, but it looks very sturdy, but it looks as if it's been like crashed open by something quite big in the center that's caught, like whatever's knocked it open is quite obviously quite big, you think.
Oh my god, maybe it's one of the statues.
How would they be out here then, Blossom?
Well, maybe they came into this way. And not the other way, like it looks like.
How do you think the other 5 statues would feel about the one breaking the door?
I don't know, maybe they're pretty mad. Maybe we should ask them.
I think you should.
Oh, I should. I will. Just gonna ask the statues whether they're mad.
Yeah, there's no response, but Silas sort of comes up beside you and he's like,
I think the Wild Mother likes you, little one. That's what they're saying.
Oh, that's pretty nice. What else did they say about me?
That perhaps you should gather more twigs and less sharp things.
Oh, well, she looks down at her 22 plus daggers. Would I like? No.
Silas just smiles at you, just kind of, just sort of turns on heel and sort of stays behind Firion.
She like sort of pats her pockets with the dagger and she's like, I'm not going to replace you with twigs, don't worry.
Yeah, Firion's going cautiously, but he's also being quite purposeful. His stride. He's got his little bird spirit on his arm.
Gertrude, can you do a quick insight check for me?
Okie dokie.
I think you would notice in particular that sort of outside and in the Crisplow thicket and sort of even outside the temple itself, that Silas was quite like a jovial kind of silly figure, but as you're moving closer in, his expression has sort of changed from quite like kind of like wistful, kind of like off in the air, to this sort of very kind of like reverent.
Okay, like this is like his holy place.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Yeah. With the tiles and the floor, and I assume it's all made out of stone.
Yes, it would be.
But is there like growth from plants through the stone?
Definitely, yeah, like vines and things like that.
Does it all look healthy?
Do a investigation check for me.
Not nature.
What was that?
Not nature.
Yeah, nature. That's probably better, actually. Yeah. Yeah, I think examining, like looking at these vines closer, whilst they're certainly not withered, like they're very, I think with the 15, they certainly don't look withered or anything, but you definitely get like a sense that there's, especially the ones on like this wall here and closer to sort of this direction, there seem to be like almost like there's less life to them. It's hard to describe. There's almost like that when you sort of touch them, they feel kind of like less like, I don't know, like, you know, when you got like that elasticity to like a vine, it sort of feels quite kind of like, yeah.
So these are more brittle.
Yes, that's the word I'm looking for.
Okay. She'd nudge Firion.
You turn around.
Is this what you might expect here? And she'd like gesture towards the sort of more decaying growths.
He'd frown, I think, and say, in the Temple of Melora, I'd expect quite the opposite. An abundance of life and verdance.
She kind of like, she put her head down, just like nods solemnly.
Yeah, you can see Silas is kind of like touching the vines and kind of like gripping them in his hand and like sort of letting them go, and he looks quite sort of solemn about it, but also for a Firbolg looks sort of maybe slightly angry.
Can Firion try to use Druidcraft on the struggling plants?
Yeah, what are you trying to do?
See if he can inject some life into them, if there are any buds to flower or small growth.
You probably would, but one thing you would know is that It's only like a very slight amount. It doesn't seem like it's been grossly affected, but
Okay.
it definitely seems like it feels like slightly harder than usual, like you'd expect.
Hmm. Can he like tear like a palm's length of vine or creeper or what have you
Mm-hmm.
off the floor,
Yeah, I think you can
and
quite easily do that.
shove it in his pocket?
Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
Steps further in.
So after you pass through the doorway, you find yourselves at a crossroad. To the immediate north, you can see a wooden door, and from beyond it, you hear a large booming sound over and over again, like something smashing into the rock itself. To the east, there lies a barricade made of sandbags and sharpened wooden spikes, looks as if it were designed to keep something out. For those of you who would shine your light ahead in this direction, or perhaps those of you with dark vision, you could be able to make out at the very end, like, looks like more significant sort of amounts of plant life heading along this corridor, more so than elsewhere. And then finally, in a more westerly direction lies another corridor, and at the end of which is another closed wooden door.
Well, in my experience, all the places that have barricades, there's usually something pretty good behind them.
Plus, it means someone doesn't want us getting in there.
Yeah, or treasure, usually.
So, is it not Silas?
Silas, yeah.
Oh, it is. He's been here before, yeah?
What do you have to ask him?
Have you been here before, Silas? Was that there before?
Silas shakes his head and he says,
Yet I have walked these halls once. I dare not walk them in many a year.
What was down there when you were last here?
The graves of beasts.
Sometimes people are buried with their, treasures.
Can Gertrude climb up on these sandbags
yeah, quite easily.
and try and work out if this barricade was built from that side or if it was built from this side?
I think you quite easily tell that it was built from this side.
So it looks like they're trying to keep something out rather than... No, keep someone out from here instead
Exactly, yeah.
Right, okay.
I'm surprised you're not more taken with the loud banging sound, Blossom.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's pretty interesting noise, Maybe we should go this way? She listens at the door.
Yeah, it's very loud. You can... It's do a perception check for me.
12.
Sounds within 100 feet, probably. You could get there, and yeah, that's probably all you can hear from about there. Actually, no, I think with a 12, I think you would just be able to make out, like, you can't hear what they're saying, but it sounds like there's an occasional kind of voice, kind of almost like barking orders, maybe. You're not sure what they're saying.
Well, I can't hear what they're saying, but there's someone behind the door. Doesn't sound like they're in dagger throwing range, though.
Well, I don't feel we are here to sneak and steal. We're here to rid this holy place of unwanted presences.
That sounds like sneaking and stealing to me. You know, you sneak behind them and steal their life.
Did she make a stabbing motion?
Yes.
She says that because it sounds like you did.
Yep.
We're lucky we got ours back, Blossom.
What? I'm too sorry. I'm too busy just laughing at myself.
Kind of like, she laughs. And she's like, oh, don't worry.
Is it locked, Blossom?
Oh, that's really clever, Leon. That should be like question number 1 all the time. You know. Just tries to put it open.
Yeah, and you see this door sort of joins at the centre. There's like carvings of vines and flowers upon the door, and as you push into the centre, it just slides open.
Well, that was easy.
You can see the
Thank you,
corridor
Blossom.
heads down, and there's another door that looks very similar at the opposite end.
This way. It's pretty dark down here, though. I will say that.
How are you moving up? Are you moving normally or stealthily or?
I don't feel like this group moves stealthily.
I mean, Blossom would be, but only because Furion said that we were trying to be stealthy and stealing lives.
He said the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah, Firian's just striding forward.
Okay.
Blossom's being sneaky.
Roll a stealth check for me, Blossom.
You know, it's kind of like, you know, cartoony tiptoeing.
Blossom's doing it, and Gertrude would too.
26.
Okay. Just check something.
She like puts her finger up to her lips. She's like, "Shh, we can sneak up on him. You know, you let me do the little stabbing. Gordon, I've forgotten what you do, Firion. You do the little vine whippy thing.
Who's him, Blossom?
Well, I don't know. I thought it was the bad guys.
Okay. So as you move up to the door, you can hear the sound of the banging getting louder and louder.
Does it
Is
sound?
this open?
No,
Closed.
it's closed. Oh, I've left it open on the map. That's meant to be closed. Sorry. Let me put a little thing.
Just for anyone's interest, I found all these assets for building sewers, which are ridiculously useful if you ever have to do it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, you see another door there, and you hear a large banging sound. And at this point, you can sort of hear someone like shouting and barking orders, and he
Does
was
it sound like it's banging against? Just rock.
like stone, like. Yeah, you would hear like a gruff male voice being like, "Come on, Doomerag, get it open!"
Oh, they got the bad guy noise. Bad guy voices, you know. You know, kind of like.
What a name, Doomerag.
This doesn't sound like a patron of the Wild Mother. I think we should ready ourselves.
Oh wait, we killed a bunch of people before we came in here, didn't we?
Yes, you did. You killed some
Okay, yeah,
bandits.
I
Firian would cast Shalila on his staff.
Blossom just gets both daggers out.
Okay, are you opening the door?
Yeah, Firian will kick it open.
Oh wait, Gertrude's gonna hold a load of blasting powder for when she sees someone.
Okay.
Get up here, Lugu.
So as you kick open the door, you see a number of bandits look around with a huge hulking figure in the centre. Feel free to roll a nature check if you'd like.
I can't see nothing, don't you worry. I don't need to roll a nature
Well,
check.
there would be light up here.
I think you'd see if Gertrude's right.
Fearing you would recognise it to be a half ogre.
Ooh.
Bastard.
Well, I'm getting the big one.
This sort of what looks like the leader kind of looks round to you, and he looks directly at you, Firion. And he sort of like cocks his head and he's like, "Looks like we got ourselves some visitors." And then looks like directly at you and he says, "Don't I know you?"
Ooh.
Does Firion recognize him?
Do a quick wisdom check.
Oh. Ian.
I think that's enough. You would recognize both the man here and the half ogre, especially with the name Doomerag being said and you listening in on it, that you'd recognize them as both members of the same tribe that your mother was within Shady Creek Run.
Oh, shit.
The guy sort of looks up to you again and he's like, "Moonlocks, wasn't it? Moonlocks? Yeah, that sounds right.
Was that your last name, Firion? I forgot.
Firion, that was it."
He would nudge Blossom, and his eyes would have widened at seeing these two, and he would just say, "You don't belong here," and take a step forward.
Well, no, I think you don't belong here. I think there's some people have been looking for you.
This is a holy place. You desecrate it.
Well, we're just, trying to get by. This place is abandoned. No one here. Nothing wrong with taking of stuff no one's going to use. Isn't that right,
Yeah.
Doomerag? And he kind of looks around like, ugh.
You have one chance to leave.
Well, I've got, contacts back in the tribe. Maybe they could, I could let them know that Mr. Moonlocks is running around near the old Crispvale thicket. Or maybe if you leave us be, we'll keep our mouths shut, yeah?
Yeah, she's just got the blasting powder in her hand, like looking at Firion.
Eyes going back and forth.
Do a
Blossom's
quick
eyeing up this ogre
do a
guy.
quick insight check for me, Firion. Yeah, never mind.
Well, Firion won't mind that. He'll just shout his name to the rooftops because he doesn't care. Why would he care about that?
Firion's like gripping his staff very, very tight. And he is going to step closer
Mm-hmm.
with the bird.
This guy definitely sort of has, like, his dagger already out sort of thing, and is kind of, like, standing sort of in a aggressive sort of manner, like, he's defensive manner, rather.
And he's just gonna hold up his staff pointing towards this guy.
You'd recognise,
just-
you'd remember his name, by the way, as, Talvin Marshstride.
Oh.
He was a bit of a fucking loser, to be honest.
He just point his staff towards Calvin and say, you can see there's a lot of anger on Firion's face. "You will suffer for your violation of the Wild Mother's sanctum," and he's gonna cast Thunderwave.
Oh shit, well let's roll initiative then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, my internet's being really fucking shit today. Oh shit. Is my computer dying? Hello? Is anyone there? Oh fuck. Computer machine. That was the internet. For fuck's sake. Right, let's stop recording here and we'll restart the computer.